Welcome back, friends, to the Multipurpose Mom podcast, where we talk about faith, marriage, motherhood, business, and everything in between, where we encourage women to walk out their purpose in whatever season of life they're in. So grab your cup of coffee, reheat it if you need to, and let's dive into talking with Traci. Traci is a lifelong friend of mine. I think we've known each other since
grade school,
like kindergarten, first grade. We've gone through seasons growing up where we maybe didn't lost touch,
right.
But social media is powerful, and we've been reconnected for years. So still feels like a lifelong friend. Traci is a woman of many purposes. She is an author of Lord Fill My Cup. It's a devotional, correct? Right? Yes, it's a devotional. Fill My Cup Until It Overflows. I have browsed through it. She won't let me read it, and you can't buy it anymore. So unless you're one of the cool people. She's also the founder of Life with Traci. She used to host her own podcast, and she's praying about when that season will open back up. She runs Artsy Owl, an art program or an art business.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of things. A woman after my own heart, because we can't decide what our purpose really is in this season.
And we're also coffee lovers.
Yes. So a lover of art, writing, music, coffee,
Yes.
Jesus. So today, I thought Traci would make a really great first-time guest because she's not a mother, and I really wanted this show to resonate with not just moms, but any woman that's looking how to walk out their purpose in this life. So, but we're approaching Mother's Day, and you thought it would be really good to talk about the impact that your mother had on your life.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning. Just talk a little bit about your upbringing, like how many siblings do you have? Like, what did your mom and dad do? To kind of let's paint a picture of your childhood.
Well, I grew up in a Christian home, which pretty much laid the foundation of my upbringing and how I should live my life and all that entails. I have 2 older brothers, much older. I just recently turned 50, which is shocking for most, but truly I am. But and they're in their 60s, so there was a big age gap when I came around.
Oh, I know that pain.
Yes.
I mean, I know that blessing.
Yeah. So, growing up, I mean, I see a lot of friends of mine with their moms and different ones, and they have a closeness, a bond, that you should have. But in my upbringing, my mom and me did not, we pretty much butted heads a lot. So it was hard to establish that as, that closeness, because once you turn to adulthood, you actually become friends. That never really happened with my mom and me. I got married right out of high school because there was abuse in the home. My mom pretty much put me down. I couldn't accomplish nothing.
Like nothing you ever did was good enough?
Yes. Okay. When I played basketball, I tried to be like my older brother, Tony. I used to watch him digitally, and I wanted to be just like him. I wore his number when I got to pick up at Jefferson,
What a cool honor.
And, but my mom always says, well, you did that shot wrong. You don't do your layup right. And it was always pushed down. And, so I had that in my head, so when I got married, I wanted to get out of the house. And that was my escape. Right. I married the wrong guy. I love him dearly. He still has my heart, even though he has passed on. I always thought that God would reconnect us.
Yeah.
But that never happened. I moved down to Tennessee with my brothers, came back home because I got homesick. I don't know why, because I love Monroe.
I feel the same way. I joke. I'm like, I could never live a nomad life because I just need to be grounded at home. Like, I love to travel, go away for a couple of days. Well, and you really love to travel. This girl lives her best life. So, but no,
But-
I get it. Just come back home.
So when, I don't know, I kind of ventured out into the world in the Christian eyes, you know, and that was a bad time for me.
Yeah, that testimony is for a whole nother show.
Yes.
Yeah, she's got a
But-
powerful testimony.
I thank God for spiritual moms. I had a few at the church I used to attend, because my mom wasn't really so-called Christian as I would see as a Christian. I mean, she loved the Lord. She
You know what my
prayed.
pastor calls it? A casual Christian.
Okay.
We love Jesus, and I honestly, I told him that when he preached that, I said, I never thought of it that way, but I spent 20 years of my Christian walk wondering why life was still so hard and always missing out on like the true blessing of having like such an intimate relationship with him. And that's what it was. I
Yeah.
wasn't in his word every day.
Right.
I wasn't seeking his face every single day. And that's sadly what a lot of like Christians, like they genuinely have given their heart to Jesus and they
Yes.
love Jesus, but they just haven't like given their life over.
Right.
And so they're just walking in this casualness.
Yeah.
And I think that's what,
Now, my dad, on the other hand, is a whole... He's like...
that man's in the
Man,
word
yes,
every day.
every day.
I've seen it.
At the mall, at Subway. Like, there's a Subway in Walmart. Well, my mom goes shopping. My dad's at Subway with his Bible, reading his Bible and talking to people about the Lord. You know, and, that's where I get my ground right
Yeah.
there. But fast forward, I met this young woman at a conference, and she pretty much took me in. I've been living with her about 18 years maybe, and she's kind of like the mother I didn't have, even though we're 10 years apart. But
I mean, I'm not far from that with my own baby, so it could be.
but my mom,
Are we allowed to say her name?
yeah, Benny.
Stella. No, it's
Oh,
not Stella.
Stella.
Too late now. Stella's amazing.
Yeah.
In case she listens. She
Yeah,
needs to know
she-
that.
she
I don't know if
pretty
she
much-
hears that enough.
Yeah. She took me under her wing. A lot of people, when we're out in the mall or even out
Traveling the country.
traveling, yeah. People think that we're mother and daughter, and it's like, no. I mean, I get this reaction like, no.
You get
You
like
know?
defensive. I'm a
Right,
big girl.
Right. But getting back to my mom, she died 4 years ago from emphysema. She was a smoker. And, all my life, I knew she was eventually going to die, but a year before she died, because we didn't have a close bond or a close relationship as mothers and daughters do,
Right.
she wanted to do these Tuesday lunches. Do you remember those?
I do. I sure
Okay.
do.
And I did the first few, and I talked to my dad, and I said, Dad, I don't really think this is working. He says, yes, keep going. My friend Myrna, yes, keep doing it. And I was like, okay. I dreaded the Tuesday. And so a year before she passed, a few weeks before she passed was her birthday. It was March 8th. And I didn't want to come. It was a Tuesday. And so I said I had a hair appointment. Sorry.
You lied to your mother?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, Betty.
But I didn't realize that she was going to be gone within weeks. Her birthday was March 8th. I think she went into the hospital in the ER not even 5 days later. She was in the hospital for about a week and a half. And my brother Tony, he says, are you ready? And I was like, ready for what? And he says, for Mom to go. And I was like, oh, yeah, nothing's going to change. I'll be fine, because we really weren't close.
So you didn't think it would affect
Yeah,
you?
it wouldn't affect me. She was in the ER, or not ER, but the ICU, and they did that step-down process.
Yeah.
And then they took her off the hospice or whatever. I don't know how that works, but
Okay.
so I asked Dad. I was like, Dad, go home. I'll stay with Mom. This is the night before she passed. And he says, okay, you sure? And I was like, yeah. So in my head, I thought it would be, I think it was God telling me, you better say your goodbyes. And so I felt the need to stay with her through the night. I talked to her, I was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, because I couldn't sleep. And I went over I held her hand and I leaned in and I said, Mom, I don't know if you can hear me, but I forgive you for all the things you did. It was hard for me because I knew in my heart what I wanted to do in my life, and she kind of put a stumbling block on that.
So talk about that. Like what kind of things did you want to do?
Well, I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to go to Spec Howard's. It's a broadcasting, film and radio broadcast up in I think it was Southfield at that time. I don't know. They moved, so
Right.
I don't know exactly where they're at now. And I wanted to do that, and I told her that throughout high school. And because she kind of put a stumbling block, oh, you can't do that. That's not something you should be doing. You'll never make money doing that. And it's like, really? Because mothers are supposed to encourage their children.
Right.
And it's like, I never saw that growing up.
Okay.
And so I got it through my dad, but not my mom. And that's who should be teaching me, especially how to cook. If you guys know me, I don't cook.
She sure don't.
I go out to eat. And it's
or
like,
Stella cooks.
Or Stella cooks, correct. And it's like, I never got that about the makeup. I'm tomboyish. I grew up.
Listen, I'm here to tell you makeup is overrated anyway. It's fine. We don't need makeup.
But in dresses, it gives me chills. When I had to go to prom, oh my gosh, that was a nightmare.
Right.
But my mom, I was jealous of my friends' mom because of the closeness they had or the way they inspired them to go out and do what you're supposed to do as a child or as a mother to, encourage go after your dreams type deal. You do that with,
I tell people all the time, well, even just with Matthias, like he's totally into football right now. And I tell people, I don't want to be a football mom. I do not want to be a football mom. But here we are at football. And I will cheer him on and just pray every game that he decides he no longer wants to be a football player. But if you listen to the episode where I interviewed him, he literally says he wants to be an NFL player. So
wow.
I'm hoping once we enter tackle that maybe he'll be like, oh, this isn't quite as fun as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I get the whole motherhood thing because I also didn't have like a close bond with my mom.
Yeah.
She was addicted to drugs my whole life. Yep. And I craved, and maybe it's like from a different perspective because you don't have children, but I craved having a daughter. I wanted a daughter so bad. I have 6 boys. I was
praying Matthias was going to be a girl.
But now, like fast forward, now that I have a couple of granddaughters, God has blessed me with some of the most incredible daughter-in-laws, however you say that, I don't know. Not an English major. We'll just make that note. I think I finally, like in the last year, fully understand why God made me a boy mom.
Really?
I don't think I was meant to be a girl mom. And I'm getting that void in my heart is being filled. Just like you've been sent spiritual moms. And I also thought while you were sharing some of like your mom's lack of mothering.
Yes.
I almost wonder, like, is that generational? Like,
yes.
How was her bond with her mom?
Yes, that's why.
And like the importance of generational curses that like people just don't break.
Right, but her mom was the same way, because we took in her mother when my grandma was ill, and I just seen the dynamic of her mom with her mom, or my mom with her mom.
Right.
And it's like, wow, now that explains a lot, Yeah. And through therapy, don't knock therapy because therapy's good for you.
Amen.
We were
just talking about that pre-episode.
Now, with mom being gone, or when, let me backtrack. When mom was passing, I said my goodbyes. I told her I forgave her for all she has done to me. I left that morning, I stayed with Dad because Dad brought us coffee, me and Stell. And so I stayed most of the day. I think I left around the evening time, 6 or 7-ish, because I was like, I gotta get some sleep, you know. I wasn't even at home 10 minutes. My dad's calling, crying. She's going, you gotta get back up here. And I was like, oh God. And so when I got there, I was upset because I missed it because our hospital was very not good. Anyway.
What a nice way to say that.
So when she died, I screamed because I want to remember her as she was. I mean, not the, but the way she looked, because I got that image in my head of how, I don't know if you ever seen a person dead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it just...
Also, side note, why I hate funerals.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I'm not going down that rabbit trail.
But seeing your mom in that state is like traumatic. And so I don't think it hit me because I was fine at the funeral. You were there.
Yeah.
I was, laughing and
grief is wild. Grief is wild.
And then I would say not even 5-7 days later, I had a breakdown and Stella's like, see, I told you. And I would say a good 6 months, I grieved my mom. And I do on occasion, now that it's coming up to it's the 4 years mark has hit. But even with Mother's Day coming up,
the season is hard for you.
Yeah.
And I really think, I feel like as you were telling that story, I felt like you really allowed your heart, because grieving is important. Mm-hmm. And I think when you chose to walk in forgiveness and to forgive your mom,
right?
Walking in unforgiveness is so debilitating. I think so many people don't realize, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, like it's physically ailmenting.
Right.
And so when you chose to walk out that forgiveness with your mom, I think it really allowed your heart, even though grieving isn't fun.
Right.
It's an important... It opened up your heart to a love for your mom that you didn't know it was capable of.
I know. Because I always
and that's
said
powerful.
I hated her. And I think it was what she did to me through my childhood and what I lacked. And things like my adulthood, like cooking.
Right.
I mean, I love food. Look at me.
That's what I tell you. I know how I got this way. I like cake, okay?
I mean, it's like I always wanted to learn how to make... different meals that, like, I see you on Facebook, and it's like you're cooking this, like, what do you call it? Biscuits and gravy. I don't know how to do that. I mean, it's simple, I know.
Well, gravy's not always simple. It's a little
really?
bit, I mean, I guess it is. For somebody that doesn't cook, I could see why it doesn't feel simple.
I mean, the basics I know is meatloaf, spaghetti.
Meatloaf is hard. What are you talking about?
All you're doing is putting it and mushing it.
Listen, I remember years ago my mom she was cooking.
Yeah.
And she made me mix the meatloaf. And I was like, I will never make meatloaf when I'm a grown up. And she was like, how are you going to feed your family? I'm like, we won't eat meatloaf. And now we do. I don't know, like since like becoming like a homesteader and just being more comfortable with my food.
Yeah.
Like touching raw meat doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I still don't make meatloaf terribly often. It's been on the menu for like 2 weeks and I haven't cooked it yet. Like I keep saying, we'll make it. But that one is a day, like it has to be a Monday or Friday when I'm like home earlier because I work later during, Tuesday through Thursday. Chaos.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to your story. So how do you feel like walking out this grieving process has been like good?
Well, since my mom, before my mom, I also lost my sister-in-law, Debbie, which is a great, amazing mom to her girls. And I was kind of jealous of that, looking at Amber and Sarah, and it's like, man, I wish mom was like that, because she showed them how to cook. She showed them about makeup. She showed them, to love themselves. you know, and you don't see that nowadays.
Right.
I mean, I'll be at a grocery store in line, and the way the mother talks to their children, it blows my mind. It's like, oh my gosh, that kid's not gonna feel good about themselves, or they're not gonna, the way I thought, never accomplish what they want to do in life.
Right.
And it's like, and you wonder why kids act out to their parents, because that's what they're seeing, because they basically look up to the parents.
And you know what I think, and I can speak from experience because I'm equally as guilty,
okay.
it's this.
Oh,
we get so caught
Racked
up.
Yep.
Just doom scrolling that, and sometimes like I've been working, this is something I've been working on, is just becoming more mindful of like not being on my screen all the time, and because we're definitely trying to remove, Matthias really actually has like probably like the spirit of addiction over him regarding screens, and but at the end of the day,
yeah,
I'm like, I just want to get on for a minute.
Yeah.
But he's not in bed yet, and I'm like trying to scroll, and I'm like, bah! And then I'm like,
well, it's not even.
I'm distracted here, so I need to like put this down and give you my full attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not only just the iPhones. It's like.
It's really just everyday life. It's just so much more
it's like
chaotic.
Stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's stress, but I'm gonna gather it's stress.
And it's the amount of information. Even if you're only scrolling for 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I tell my husband he's really into watching like politics and blah blah blah. And I said, you know, God didn't design our brains to consume that kind of information at the volume we're consuming it.
Yes.
Like our bodies have no time to process.
Right.
Like it's always bad, but you know, like.
Yeah.
And no wonder everybody's walking around in a state of anxiety. Like, we're not meant to consume it that way.
Yeah.
So, I'm reminding her, our timer's getting low, so we gotta
wrap it up
soon. So, if you could tell me, what does living on purpose look like for you in this season of life, and how would you encourage somebody else to walk out their purpose in their season? Like, I feel like our purposes change. That's why that's why I'm like the multi-purpose mom, because it's changed. It's been multiple things over the seasons.
Well, for me, going through therapy and learning about myself was tremendous. It showed me growth in myself. I mean, if you seen me 17 years ago, 20 years ago, I was Matthias.
Right.
I mean, I scream, or I shouldn't say that your boy screams, but I used to do tantrums as an adult. Yes. I'm autistic, by the way, and that's another story. But you know, it's therapy helped me. And spiritual moms, or spiritual sisters, I said. Sisterhood is very...
There's nothing greater than discipleship.
Because Myrna and Joy, we both know...
Some amazing women. Yes.
And it's like...
What a dream to have them both on my podcast one day.
I know. They pour into you. And see, with my mom not pouring into me, I think... those two have been tremendous in my life, because I did a whole switch.
Yeah.
I'm like a whole different person. And it's like I'm just now getting back into my art, and I really want to do my life with Traci again. I want to write another book. I mean, I have things I want to do, and it's like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know where I'd be.
Right.
Really.
Right. All right. Any closing statements you want to say?
No.
All right.
Love your mothers.
Love your mothers, no matter what.
Yes.
And really walking in that forgiveness.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the season I've been into. So I just want to thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I value that you've taken out 25 minutes of your day to listen or to watch, whatever it is. And so I just want to say that I genuinely thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I just
hopefully I'll be on again.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I just want to encourage you to just remember that you were created on purpose for purpose. Thanks for being here.